now. It's use your vision, some anticipation. Don't let the first guy bring you down. I'm kind of seeing that effort now. And then as the offensive line continues to improve, and we're grinding teams down and wearing teams down, it's going to be key for Smith to get in there in the second half, and eat up some yardage.
Yeah, I mean, watching Davion Smith against Northwestern, he's not a one tackle guy. From last year to this year, I don't know what happened. Coaching probably.
Well, offensive line. You gotta admit, the last couple years, our offensive line has been terrible.
Right.
Anybody can run behind that line.
Right. And I don't think he's not a one tackle guy, and it's going to take 2 or 3 guys to bring him down. I mean, just from watching weeks past.
Agreed. Like you said, I thought it was a great win. I know we exchanged some tweets afterwards, and we're still kind of just taking it in. Who knew that our first game in the spotlight in a long time, who knew we were going to respond that well. So, it was great. Look, I'm going to take this quick commercial break. We'll come back on the other side and we'll jump into this upcoming game. Hold on, fellas.
Going for 2, your number one source for fantasy sports with top-notch fantasy sports advice, an exclusive community forum, and some of the best and most knowledgeable writers in fantasy sports. Visit today at going42.com. That's going for the number 2.com. Going for 2 features NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, and more. And they also provide the best advice for your FanDuel, DraftKings, or daily fantasy sports site. Sign up for the Going for 2 newsletter and get updates immediately through your email. And while you're on the site, make sure you check out the exclusive section, Why I Hate. That's going42.com, GOINGFOR, the number 2. Going42.com. Go visit and get the inside scoop of everything fantasy sports.
All right, we're back to work. This is the Pay Me No Mind show. This is your host, Wood. I'm on with 2 buddies of mine from the great state of Michigan. We have Jay and Ryan. Ryan was on last week. Jay has joined us this week, and we're running down this Michigan. We're running down all things Michigan right now, but coming out of the first segment, now we're getting ready to get into the big one this week, the big matchup. One of the biggest, maybe arguably the biggest one in the college game, but the Michigan State Spartans, ranked number 7th, 6-0. They come to Michigan Stadium to face the 12th ranked Wolverines, and that's 3:30 this Saturday. I'm sure everybody knows what's happening there. So, fellas, let's turn it up a little bit. I know you guys are both excited about this. Let's not give out these predictions until to the end. Let's leave a little let's leave a little suspense in there. But how do you see this thing playing out? I'll go to you first, Jay.
Like you said, this is probably one of the biggest Michigan State games in a long time. Got both teams very excited. They're both playing well. And they're both top the conference again, which is good for the Big Ten. I'm just looking forward to a really battle. It's going to be like a street fight.
I agree. What's your key? What's kind of like 1 or 2 keys for Michigan to be successful?
Can't turn the ball over. Turnovers kill you every time. And keep the running game going. Score points and keep Michigan State off the field.
Before we get to you, Ryan, Jay, are you a little? And as we come into you, Ryan, are you a little surprised that Michigan has started out as a 6.5 point favorite? I mean, you think that's a good thing or bad thing?
I'm not too sure about that one. I hardly ever get into stuff like that, being a favorite like that. I mean, some people have to think it's good, but you just got to play the game out. I don't really go by that stuff.
Yeah, I'm with you. What about you, Ryan?
The more points, the better.
I'm just wondering, with such a point spread in a rivalry game, we're coming off of being unsuccessful 6 out of the last 7 meetings. I know Brady Hoke was on a show and mentioned that it wasn't fair for him in a way because 3 of his games, or 3 of the 4, I think, were in East Lansing. So he's saying that's kind of why he was unsuccessful while he was in charge. What's your big?
I use that excuse too.
Say what?
Hey, I use that excuse too.
What's your key? What's your keys for this game on Michigan side, Ryan?
Defense has to play well. Like Jay said, good point. Keep Michigan State off the field. Jake Rudock has to keep the turnovers to a minimum. We have to execute. We have to come out. We have to come out firing. I think this is going to be a game of momentum. I really think whoever puts points up on the board first will win this game.
Do you think that, I don't know, this scoreless quarter streak is kind of becoming a distraction for me as a fan? Do you think it wouldn't be a bad thing maybe if Michigan State gets the ball first, that they went down and got a field goal or something and we get away from that?
I had an opinion earlier today, and it was for Michigan to kick off, right, and play defense first if they win the toss. But Marcus Ray was on with one of the Detroit stations this morning, and he said that he was asked the same question, what would happen, or what would you do if Michigan won the toss? He said to receive. He said, put points on the board first. It's your house. Punch Michigan State in the mouth first, and then, set the tone. Like I said, it's put the points up on the board first and keep the momentum going for there. But then on the other side of it, your defense goes out first. They stop and do a 3-and-out, and you go and score. So, time will tell.
Kind of flipping the field you're referring to with, if they came out, held them 3-and-out, get some good field position off the back, shorten up the field for a drive, and hopefully do something with that first possession, right?
Right, exactly.
Anything scaring you? Ryan, I'll stay with you. Connor Cook, he is one of the top QB prospects for the NFL. He's coming off a 357-yard passing day against Rutgers. He has he has like the second best passer rating in the Big Ten right now. Accuracy is right at around 60%. His touchdown interception ratio is pretty great at 12 to 2 interceptions. LJ Scott doing pretty good on the ground. He's averaging 6 yards a carry, only a couple of touchdowns to his credit. And then they also have a pretty good, one of the better wide receivers in the Big Ten, in Aaron Burbridge. Any of those guys scaring you, or anything need to be?
If I had to answer this with an unbiased opinion and looking at this game from outside in, it's Michigan State. You cover both sides. Michigan State battled through adversity, and everybody makes that point. They've come back from games to come back and win. They've won in close victories. Last week against Rutgers, week before against Purdue. They've got that going for them. But on the other side of it, last week, Connor Cook does not scare me. Last week against Rutgers, granted, it's a night game on the road. It's intimidating for any team. But he's dropping back and playing backyard 500 football. He's lofting the ball up in the air, Denard Robinson style, Michigan, when he played at Michigan. You can't do that against Michigan.
Right.
So there's not a whole lot that scares me with Michigan State. They are 6-0. I'll give them that. They are, they're ranked where they're ranked for a reason. They beat all their opponents, but Michigan's scary, and their defense is coming. So we'll see what happens.
Right. What about you, Jay? This package of offensive players, you think they can crack the code that's become the Michigan defense, or is one of these guys going to bust out and do something exceptional?
Like Ryan said, I'm not really too scared about their offense. Yeah, it's kind of a pretty good quarterback, but he hasn't faced a Michigan-type defense all season. Also, as Ryan was saying, he was playing backyard football in that game last week. He was throwing it up, and their receivers were making good catches. So I don't think they played the type of defense that Michigan has. So, like Ryan said again, I'm not really too scared about Michigan State.
Yeah, I think see what Jordan Lewis does this week. I mean, it's come out this week that he's the 7th best player in all of college football. Obviously, he made the big play last week that kind of really, I felt like that really broke a lot of spirit in Northwestern. But QBs are actually only having a passer rating in challenging Lewis, a passer rating of 26.8. So he's doing his thing, and off the top of my head, I can't think of the guy on the other side of the field, but he has three interceptions to his credit. So yeah, I just feel like with the pressure from the defensive line, those guys mixing it up, and then an exceptional secondary. Yeah, I think we're pretty well set to handle whatever they throw at us.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I had one thought.
I'll add to that, Wood, is, we have to throw the records kind of out the window on this one. It is rivalry week. Jay, before we started tonight, made a comment, you really, if Michigan starts this game 0-6, we still think that we have a chance because it's rivalry week.
Right.
Both coaches are going to have their teams ready to play, period. And if you don't think that D'Antonio's going to have Michigan State ready to play, we're wrong. Yeah. Because they will be coming.
Definitely, that's what's so awesome about this week. I'm excited to see, this three-headed monster between D'Antonio, Urban, and Harbaugh. I mean, if we can sit here for the next 3 to 5, 7 years and watch that, I mean, these guys have really come into. I mean, Urban was already who he is, but I mean, D'Antonio is really, he's turned that program into a monster. And I mean, it's unfortunate that they've dropped down from that number 2, number 3 ranking. But like you said, this is the perfect situation for them to get back in the mix and put their foot down and declare what they really are, because it's not like they don't have aspirations of doing, taking a step further than what they took last year. So, I mean, and while we were kind of lost our way, Michigan State was the one that was, challenging Ohio State and being the big time game in the Big Ten calendar. So I agree with you. It's an awesome. It should be an awesome matchup to take in. What about Michigan State's defense? I mean, the last few years, that's kind of what their calling card has been. They've had several DBs go to the pros, be highly drafted, but I took a look today and I was kind of shocked. I had to go pretty far down the list to find them at number 81. Ranked defensively, giving up 242 pass yards a game, 130 on the ground, and then I think they're giving up 21.3 points per game. So to me, this kind of would lead me to believe that Michigan's going to be pretty successful as far as, to your point, Ryan, as far as as long as Rudock throws the ball to the right colored jerseys, I think we can do well against this defense.
I agree.
I mean, they have Shalik Calhoun, Riley Bullough, and Malik McDowell all have a couple of sacks, and Shalik is actually in the top. He's the number 6 in sacks. But like I said, I just think over the course of 4 quarters, I just think this is a team that we can at least put up 21, 28, maybe even mid-30s on them.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with Michigan State's defense is losing